She was able to be there for her children. She, lived her life.
Right.
When they gave her generic, she crashed and wound up in the hospital. Well, why? Well, it wasn't that she wasn't taking the medication. It was because the filler caused a reaction in her. Rare, but can happen. So in her case, we really had to fight with the state of New York to say, hey, you just hospitalized her. Here's why.
Right.
Right? Let's take a look at her chart from 3 years ago when she was on generic and she was in and out of the hospital every 3 months. We put her on brand. She's been out, saving you lots of money. Hello? Then they approved her.
The
right?
bottom line. Once they seen the bottom line, they was able to approve it.
Right.
But see, that's the thing, though. If that's what it is, right, then why do we even have free health care in the first place if all we have to do is shuffle a couple more dollars and we'll get better health care?
It's not just a couple of dollars.
I know, but, I mean, the way this dollar system is now, it's only a couple dollars now. You know what I mean? It's not really that much. So, in that sense, we're really just, saying, okay, just pay me a little bit more and I'll treat you a little better.
How do I put this delicately?
There's no delicate way to put it. So
Okay,
just
so
please be blunt.
I'm just going to kick it. It has nothing to do with the physicians. It has nothing to do with the clinicians here. It has everything to do with Congress.
Congress, man.
And I'm going to give you the history, okay? Because I've been around long enough and I'm old enough.
I believe you. That's why I'm able to sit here and listen to you.
Okay. So, back in the day, we used to give brand everything. I mean brand everything.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, many of my father-in-law's friends, family, my father, everybody came to the VA. Why did they come to the VA? Because you could get brand. Didn't pay a fucking dime for any of it. Okay? Excuse my language, but I come from South Bronx. This is how I am. Okay. So they were able to get brand for all kinds of shit.
Right.
Okay. Reagan comes to power. Managed care comes in. Kaiser, the great IM, right? Now, everything shifts. No longer can you get brand. You can only get generic. First it started in the VA, then it happened throughout healthcare, across the country. Why Reaganomics? Why Congress pushed through a bill that said that the VA was spending too much money and that it needed to save money and blah, blah, blah. I've been around long enough. They use the VA as a political pawn. And depending on who's in power, they will trash it, depending on who's in and who's not. Now, you're right. There are problems with pharmaceuticals. There's no doubt about that. And you're right. Every patient has to make a choice and a determination, including myself. I have to think about, because I ain't young, I have to think about risks and benefits. Do I take a medication that causes me side effects, that puts me in bed all weekend? Or do I just kind of live with the swelling and the pain and just deal with it and suck it up? Got to make that decision. Do I take a medication that may cause cancer, or do I simply to prevent joint disease, or do I just say, fuck it, I'll wait?
But what type of choices are those? I mean, when we know for a fact, I mean, this is not just theory now.
But again, look, I don't disagree with you. I think if a medication has been shown to cause lymphoma in enough patients that you have to report it on television?
If it's just one patient, I feel like it's wrong because, for one, that patient, is not just, you know what I mean, uncommon, you know what I mean, side effect of Earth, meaning
one
that,
patient out of hundreds of thousands is still a rare event.
now that's rare,
However,
but, right,
when it's more common is when they're talking about it, right?
right.
And that's where the education has to come in. That's where we need to say to patients, look, here are the side effects. Some of them are mild, some of them are not, and this is the risk. So let's take a look at your history, let's take a look at your genetics, let's take a look at what we need to make that educated decision. And you're the one who has to make that educated decision, but it's my job to teach you.
But see, at the root of that, right, since we in the entity, right, if this was like a private practice, that would be something totally different.
That's correct.
But because we are the entity, y'all have a standard. And how has this become the standard?
Remember I said about that political football?
But we can't keep on passing
No,
the blame.
I'm not going to pass the blame.
Right,
Okay, I'm going to explain the blame.
right.
Okay. So, Reaganomics started it all.
I'm sorry. I know I'm taking up your
No,
time.
hold on. Because I want to find some stuff here that we need to talk about what we're going to do with you.
But it was only supposed to be a 30-minute.
So, here's the thing. They wanted to close the VA back in the 80s. Okay?
This one?
All of them. They wanted to shut it down. And they wanted to shut it down because the World War II guys were dying off. The Korean vets were not coming in. And the VA vets were
Too messed up.
And dying off from AIDS, right? Costing them lots of money. So they wanted to shut it down.
And just stop treating.
They figured we're in peacetime, we're not going to need the VA, and so they were talking about shutting us down. Okay, caused all kinds of crisis. All right. Needless to say, the DVA and some of the other veterans groups, you know, really fought to keep it open and to change the way things worked within the VA itself, by the way. Because it was a whole other animal back in the 80s. That's where choice comes in.
Yeah. Not just the choice program either, huh?
The choice program was kind of, I think, in their minds, an experiment. Let's see how many are going to take us up on it, and let's see if we can, you know, keep them out there. What they failed to understand is that, hello, that means you have to continue paying. And so what they did was, they didn't add to the VA budget to pay for that. They took away money from this here to send there, which meant we can't hire staff, which meant we're below what we need to. You see? That's how the politics play. So I would like to say to you that every clinician that I